Hello!
Welcome to Wall of Sound TV, Season 2, Episode 1. I'm Ebony.
I'm Brownie, and we are hanging out once again at King Lear's throne here in Brisbane. But there's some exciting news happening just next door. Stick around, we'll give you all those details of how it's going to improve Brisbane's heavy music scene.
Yeah, also in exciting news, we launched a Patreon.
Woohoo!
So if you do want exclusive content, behind the scenes footage, some bloopers, there's plenty of them.
There's lots.
There's lots of them.
Let's face it, there's lots. We're not professionals.
No. But also, it is the only place you can buy a physical copy of our Digimag. So head to our Patreon, sign up. Yeah.
Get involved. But let's get into festivities. The year kicked off with arguably the biggest deathcore tour to ever hit Australian shores. Viada's Murders Decade of Hate tour saw them performing alongside Whitechapel, Chelsea Grin and Spite. And our very own deathcore connoisseur Ricky Aarons got to spend some time with Andy from Viad.
But to see like a group of deathcore bands selling out the Forum and also, you know, the UNSW Roundhouse and stuff like that, that's a real trip because this genre is like kind of pretty underground. I mean, maybe it's not anymore like it used to be, but like it used to be this sort of like death metal kind of thing, and now it's become this massive thing that is selling out the Forum. Like, how does that feel?
It's exciting. It really is. I don't know how to sum it up though. The culture of music fans and their support for us and for the whole lineup has been immense, and we're very grateful for that as well. One thing that's very difficult to communicate to them is that they come to these shows and they're massive, and we love it, and hopefully they love it. But without continued support, these sorts of events cannot occur. You know, arguably we're the biggest band of our genre in the country. And it's not like there's this big music industry machine behind us to manifest these sorts of tours and bring these sorts of bands over. We rely on your support to kind of continue making it happen. So hopefully in 2024 I can try and up the ante a little bit and everyone will roll out for it again. But we also had this free time. The whole COVID delays changed our strategy with respect to Human Target and then a new record. I kind of was like, well, what can we do? I'm like, well, let's do this album. Europe, we're just doing 10 or 11 shows. Then we got 6 months off where we've got to try and get the new record ready to release and shoot music videos and make artwork and do all that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, exciting. So that sounds like a lot of marketing material and stuff for the new album. Is the actual album done?
It's mostly done. Sean and I went over we went like a couple days after that September tour finished. And then I got home, I don't know, about a month or 6 weeks ago. So we were over there for a couple of months just riffing away and writing and recording and analysing things and trying to make it sound like us but not in a way that we had heard before.
Okay.
I think COVID was really good for that too, because we're not the kind of people that write music at home all the time. We like to get together and make it a project and do it in a short amount of time. So having so much time away from playing guitar, whilst not good for your guitar playing, I tell you that much, was good for the creative process. We weren't falling into old habits as much, and we're exploring new sounds and directions. So I'm excited. I'll show you after we do this interview.
I'm ready. Turn it off. Turn it off. No, that sounds great. Did you get Mr. Will Putney involved?
We surely did. I don't think we'd do it without him.
Yeah, wonderful.
So, yeah, we went over to his house for a couple of months. Yep. It was beautiful fall weather. Stole his vegan pizza every night when he went to bed. And, you know, it was great to work together again after a pretty big break. I mean, I guess it wasn't that long. We've recorded more music after Human Target, but before this. So we've been doing heaps of stuff.
Okay.
We got like 3 releases this year, I think. So
very interesting.
It's a bit nuts. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to it. You were alluding to like getting some new and different sounds into Viada's Murder for this time around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how would you describe that? What's new and different?
Let me tell you, the first thing that I thought about was we're getting older and fast music is really hard to play. And I thought, if we want to keep doing this in 5, 10, 15 years, which we'd love to be doing, it has to be sustainable.
Okay, yeah.
It can't be 250 BPM shredding the whole time.
Okay.
So how to maximise our impact in songs, I think people say we've become less technical, which I guess I would agree with, but we've maximised impact with choruses or breakdowns. We've kind of learnt more of the art of songwriting as opposed to the art of showing off how good you are the whole time.
Yep.
So we did that, and also it's hard to explain without getting into music theory, but your fingers and hands go to the same notes a lot of the time because we do the same thing over and over and over again. Having that time off, we sort of lost a lot of that, and we were finding new sounds, new chords, new ways of playing riffs that we'd never done before. So it was a nice change, and we just let the music kind of come out and didn't force it, and we ended up with like 25 songs or something.
Oh my
We
God.
cut it down to, I think we recorded 14 or 15 that
Nice.
are done, and 10 will make the record. So
Nice.
we got some diversity in there.
Okay,
We also
cool.
have some stuff that sounds exactly the same as 10 years ago, so I don't know how that really works.
Well, look how Decade of Hate is going. 10 years ago was a great time.
Yeah, so we're just going to re-record that one.
Yeah, fantastic. Sounds
yeah,
good.
real
so
easy.
what, like you get your LP, which is coming out sometime this year, and then maybe what, like an EP or something like that?
Yeah, there might be an EP like in a couple of weeks even, so
A couple of weeks.
I don't know.
There you
yeah.
go. All right. Well, we're ready for it.
We got some stuff.
Okay.
I got the masters the other morning, so
Okay. Cool. Well, we're ready when you are, mate.
yeah. Let me get through this tour first,
Yeah,
and I'll
yeah.
start putting it together.
So by now you should have heard that Diart have announced their split EP, The Aggression Sessions, featuring Fit for an Autopsy and Malevolence. It is out April 7th, and if you do want a physical, not that physical. If you want a physical copy, it's out July 21st via Nuclear Blast.
But the deathcore continues because we know you want it. Ricky also caught up with Tom Barber from Chelsea Grin and his new side project DARKO, which is completely taking over the landscape of deathcore around the world. They got talking about that and another edition of Deathcore Karaoke.
Back to DARKO for a second, man. It's just, you guys have released some top albums and EPs and stuff. And what I want to point out, a lot of fans know this, but like maybe a lot of fans don't. Everything you've done is independent. Like, DARKO's not on a label. You don't do PR. You don't do interviews before an album drops. You'd like kind of just do your own thing on your own social media, and it's just become from what started as this little project to this massive deathcore beast.
Again, started as fun. It's just me and Josh's money. It's not like we have people loaning us money or a label loaning us money or whatever. And it's like, that's why we only print so much merch, only print so many CDs. And you know, you see sometimes people are like bummed that they can't grab something that fast. But the band is growing. And as the band grows, we'll be able to print and do more stuff. So yeah, it is just me and Josh. And granted, it is just me and him. It's still just fun to be us because it feels like there's not any other friction to like kind of like bounce ideas off of. It's like, is this okay if we do this? Is it okay if I post this? Is it okay if I do this? It's just like, I'm fucking doing it.
I'm free.
Yeah, I'm just doing it. You know?
So good. What's it like being able to be on tour in Australia in your respective bands to be able to hang out with Josh?
I love it.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy because it's before we came here, he was like, bro, you're about to be in Australia. Again, it's been a minute since we've been back here, and it's just cool to, it's like, you want to do things with your friends.
Yeah.
You want to hang out with your fucking friends. Even if you're struggling, you want to be with your friends.
Yeah.
If you're doing great, you want to be with your friends. And it's like, yo, I'm playing music. I get to be with my boy and my other boys. It's like, this is probably the best tour I've been on a long time. And even look, I don't know Thy Art that well. I don't know Whitechapel that well. But even from this tour alone, I've had more conversations with them than I've had in my entire career. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I'm not the kind of guy to like reach out and go on the internet and just hit people up, because I would rather meet someone face to face. And you know, meeting them and having a chance to talk to them, I can see how, you know, like who they are as people. And it's crazy because I look at them as me being a fucking kid again. And I went up to Philton and I like put my arm on him, like yoinked him around for a second, and my brain is like, dude, this is fucking crazy. Sweating on my armpit just thinking about it. And it's like
Crazy.
it's wacky, bro. It's wacky. So wacky.
So good. So now that you've got to experience going on tour with Josh, when are you guys going to go on tour together? When are we going to see a DARKO live show?
We're planning for a live show. But again, it's going to be we're going to be putting our money in it. We're going to try to get like a gnarly lineup. I mean, we're going to do a thing where if people can't make it to the show, we're going to like fly out a handful of people from certain countries. We'll like do like a raffle.
That's
and
sick.
If blah 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 is from this country, we're like, fine, we'll buy your tickets, you can come.
Yeah.
You know, and like get you a flight. So I mean, I don't really see bands doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like,
Not in our scene, at least, anyway.
nah, I mean, not that I see. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's like, we want to be able to give this joy that, you know, we do with music. And it's like, we try to look at it in a fresh perspective. And how can we kind of make ourselves like not relevant, but let the people know that we give a fuck, and it's not just like putting out content. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I despise that word.
Yeah.
More than anything. It's just like, bro, just make music.
Yeah.
Just make fucking music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Be creative. I love that.
Yeah, be creative.
Sounds good. And I imagine like the idea of a Darko live show is actually quite technical because it's just you two boys and you got like a lot going on there with the drums and the vocals and the programming and like some other stuff. So it would be quite a lot to kind of get together, right?
It's figuring out who we would have play it, because there's, again, I'm not acting like Darko is like fucking anything beyond anybody else.
It's a big deal, man.
Well, regardless how you choose to see it, it's like we have to find the right people to play the music, because it's just hectic, bro.
Of course, yeah.
You know, even for me, it's like,
yeah.
I'm like, fuck, I'm glad this is like recorded so I can practice it. You know, like I have months, like I do for Chelsea Grin, I have months prior to write to the record, and you know, same thing for Darko. I have even more time to write to the record, so it's like I'm way more meticulous with it, and
of course,
dude, it's bouncing back and forth between the two bands. It's like things I learned with Chelsea Grin, I implement with Darko. Things I learned with Darko, I implement to Chelsea Grin, and it's so cool that I can go between the two, and it's like this is this band and this is this band.
That's cool.
And it's two different things. It's just like I'm the one vocalist, but it's two different fucking sounds, you know?
Yeah, that's really cool. Maybe you'll have to get someone like Zach Wilde to fill in. I hear he's doing fill-ins for bands these days.
I don't know. I don't know about
Not your vibe?
No, I don't know if I'd want Zach Wilde. I mean,
fair enough.
I mean, he's, you know, I don't know. I'd want like probably like younger heads, like kids that want to get into the scene,
cool,
and have talent that don't have like a way in.
Give them opportunity.
That's what I'm saying. So if we like find the right people and be like, yo, give them a chance, maybe they can go fucking make their band. And like,
love it, man.
That's how it should be, you know? It's like extending the hand to the little dudes.
Paying it forward kind of thing.
Straight up, bro. And I feel like that's how it should be. How many people are already doing good? It's like, bro, do good. I get it. Let's let everybody do good. You know what I'm saying?
Let's spread the love.
Yeah,
I love that, man. I love that. Now, before we wind up, I want to share with you a segment that we did with Joe Bad, a Fit for an Autopsy, when he was down here a little while ago.
Nice.
We like to call it deathcore karaoke. So what we kind of do is we kind of get the vocalist yourself to pick maybe an Aussie tune that's not really deathcore at all. Maybe it's Kylie Minogue. Maybe it's Men at Work with Down Under. And just give us a little bit of a, like, you know, maybe a one or two line with your gnarliest, like, deathcore voice. Joe Bad did AC/DC, if that helps. We've got In Excess.
Don't change a thing for me.
Okay.
Tom Barber, deathcore karaoke. Let's go.
Don't change a thing for me!
Thank you. We'll take that. Thank you very much. That is Deathcore Karaoke, Season 5, Episode 3. Yeah. Thanks so much, Tom. We really appreciate you taking the time here with Wall of Sound TV. Have a bit of a chat and wish you all the best on the rest of the tour.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having us.
Wall of Sound TV.
I've heard better, but that was a good effort.
Get down with the gutturals, Ebony.
I'm trying.
It's a whole new world waiting for you.
Deathcore isn't my vibe. But that's fine. I'm getting there. The karaoke is pretty good. But do you know what I do love? Boston Manor.
You love Boston Manor. Love Boston Manor.
Was I supposed to do that as well?
Yeah.
Love Boston Manor.
Love Boston Manor.
But they did literally just come to Australia on a co-headline tour with Movements, and I was beside myself. It was amazing. And so we did catch up with Henry Cox at the venue to talk about their latest album, Datura, and a lot of other stuff. Guys, Ebony here with Henry Cox from Boston Manor. They're in the country touring with Movements at the moment. And this is the first time we've seen you in a few years, and we finally get to hear all your new songs. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us. We're very, very excited to be here. Been looking forward to this one for ages.
Yeah, literally for ages.
Yeah. Well, yeah, literally, yeah. We were supposed to come back in COVID. Well, it wasn't COVID then, but it became COVID. So yeah, I think it's 4 years since we've been here. It's crazy. Well, 2018, so yeah. Nearly 5 years.
Yeah, it's probably a bit more humid than you expect, but that's okay. You can manage.
I like it.
Really?
Most people get, especially British people, don't really like humidity and stuff. But I kind of prefer it to dry heat, I think. I don't know why. Easy for singing and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I just like it in general.
Little tip of the trade? No. Now, I do want to say, because not many people will know as well, I feel like this is just a you and me thing, is that we've talked like every year since 2020.
It's a yearly thing, yeah.
It is. You know, we catch up. There's Christmas, there's Easter, there's chat with Ebony and Henry, and then it's, you know, regular life is scheduled. And I just want to say, like, I don't know about for you, but for me, I don't have this sort of relationship with any other artist / band. So are there others for you?
Thanks so much. What, do I have a relationship
do you have
with
another journalist on the side that you just chat to every now and then?
I'm very fond of James, formerly of Rock Sound fame. Similar thing, you know. I'll bump into him twice a year, but he's local. So,
That's true.
Yeah,
He's
but
one up me.
This is the first
That's
time
fine.
in person. Yeah, nice to see you.
Just via Zoom, otherwise, yeah.
Totally.
Anyway, sold out shows in Australia, bigger than you were playing last time.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't
Surely.
even really play shows. We just did the festival. I mean, we did a couple club shows with the Wonder Years, I think. But yeah, this is our first like club show tour here, really. So we're over the moon. Like, can't believe all these shows are selling out. It's very
That's so
exciting.
decent. I mean, like, beautiful venues as well. At the Triffid, look at it.
Yeah, this place
Plants,
is awesome.
lights,
Yeah.
the 2 criteria we actually need. But
Yeah.
otherwise, you have actually been touring a little bit and playing new songs, just not for us, but tonight's the night. So, any other songs that have popped up that you're loving to play live? I know you said Crocus was really going off.
Yeah, I mean, since we last spoke, we did like the whole record in full in the UK and some like small shows, and just playing all of those songs has just been really refreshing and fun. And I mean, every band likes to play their new stuff, obviously, but
Yeah.
it's kind of locked into place a lot quicker than when we've started playing new stuff in the past. I don't know why that is, but it feels really good to play them. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like it fits pretty well with our old material live. Like, doesn't seem to be too you see that sometimes, don't you? The band will have like 2 records that sound really different, and it'll be really weird in between the songs,
Yeah.
the juxtaposition. But it seems to have flown pretty well.
Yeah.
We're just happy to be on tour, man. Every time, since COVID, I'm just so thankful. I never take for granted. Just, we're in Australia right now. That's so sick. Every tour usually has great standout moments, and I never, like I say, never take for granted that I get to do this for a living. It's pretty crazy.
I love that. Well, I know that like Datura like just came out in October last year, and I know it's one of 2 parts. How's the second part going?
It's going.
Okay.
We've been in the studio working on it. We don't have a date
No.
yet. It's not finished by any stretch. We're kind of trying to take our time a little bit with this, in a way. We've released a record every 2 years for
An
8
album,
years.
yeah.
Yeah. And then an EP in between it.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm
So
not
there's
in
no
a-
hurry, really.
Not really. I
Don't-
mean,
yeah.
I don't want it to get so long that it feels like the concept has kind of been, I don't know.
Like people have like it's like
Yeah,
I know what you're trying to say, but I can't say it either.
I can't word
you know,
it either,
it's
you know.
going down, not going down, but like the hype is not as loud as it was.
Or just more that people are really familiar with the songs.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of want that because it's going to be so self-referential that I kind of want that to not be missed.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. And last question, what are you manifesting for the rest of 2023?
Well, hopefully a record, and then we have some other shows planned later on in the year that we're not going to announce yet. Nothing, unfortunately. We're not back to Australia this year. That'd be kind of crazy. But I'm hoping to come back next year if we can. Like, I'm so excited to be here and kind of want to make up for lost time, really. So fingers
Yes.
crossed. If you like what you see, liked what you saw, I should say, because this will come out
This
after.
comes out after they played. They did play and it was amazing.
Yeah, the show was sick.
Yeah.
Everyone went crazy. It was loads of fun. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to come back soon because we just love it here and everyone's really friendly and really nice and it's beautiful.
If you also enjoyed Movements, maybe stick around for episode 2 coming out mid this year because we had a chat with Pat as well. Okay, so this year with all of our Wall of Sound TV episodes, we really want to highlight an up-and-coming band, one who we really love, and we want you guys to love them as well. So have you heard of To The Grave?
They put out a new album called Director's Cuts. Our reviewer gave it a perfect 10 out of 10, and we're catching up with the band now to talk all things To The Grave.
I am Big Bad Dane TTFG, Dane Philip Evans from To The Fucking Grave. What's going on? I sing and stress out into the grave. Yeah.
I'm Simon, drummer, guns bringer. I hit things really fast and sometimes slow.
I'm Matt, I play bass and do some of the backing vocals.
Matt manages the band a little bit internally as well. Give him credit for that. Simon handles some stuff as well, I'm sure. So we all have our hands in the pot. We're all cooking.
Yeah, I think we sort of fall into like the deathcore category.
Yeah.
I think that's mostly what we get lumped in with, but it's pretty broad what we're doing these days. And
We've never had this many influences in one melting pot, have we? And if you've listened to the album, you probably know that already.
The message behind To the Grave, animal goddamn liberation by any means necessary. There are animals trapped in cages right now, an hour from where you are, possibly less, and they need our fucking help. So that's why we're here, that's what we do.
there's been some people that's asked us like, oh, why is that the message? It's because it's what we're passionate about. It's what we give a shit about. And it's cool being in a band that's actually talking about something real. There's a lot of like just fantasy elements in heavy music, and that's that's cool. If you want to listen to Dungeons and Dragons metal, I'm all for it. But it's more satisfying being in a band that's like talking about something that's a real issue that's going on. And this music's supposed to be confrontational, so making people look at their choices and really consider the harm they're doing.
I think what I really, in all honesty, what I want people to take away from this album is that the responsibility does actually, whether we like to admit it or not, fall on all of us to right the wrongs we see in this world, not to wait for someone else to do it, not to wait for companies or any of that bullshit to do it. All of that is powered by us, and it can be powered down by us, and that is the main point of Director's Cuts. We're living in a horror movie, we're putting animals through a constant horror movie that we're the directors of, and we like to pat ourselves on the back and say that we're not, and it's just not the case. So I need people to take that away from this record. Responsibility. Go cop it, honestly. It's hectic. There's plenty more right behind it. Get this running up.
Watch this space.
Prepare yourself. Brownie's about to gush about Architects.
Ooh. When Architects came to Australia, they had 2 albums under their belt. The band played 23 songs across 2 hours, which is insanity.
My feet.
We were lucky to catch up with Sam Carter backstage to talk about how this tour came about, how they scored the opportunity to open for Metallica, and what happened when he finally met his hero, Paul McCartney.
Hey, this is Sam from Architects, and you are watching Wall of Sound TV.
Wall of Sound TV, we're at the Fortitude Music Hall with the wonderful Samuel Carter from Architects. Welcome back to Australia.
What a lovely introduction.
Well, you're a lovely man. You deserve all of the great attention in the world.
Thank you.
For everything you do. Your music, your activism, just in what you put in your hair.
I just love you.
I love you more, mate. Look, you're back in Australia, 2 fantastic albums under your belt, a plethora of brand new songs which you're showcasing. What's the vibe been like?
Good. Yeah, really, really good, actually. I mean, like, it's obviously... It's weird for it to have taken so long. I think under any other circumstance, it just wouldn't have happened. But yeah, COVID happened. I don't know if
got in the way,
if you saw any of that stuff.
Well, no, we just hung out in the shoebox that I had at home, and we spoke over Zoom a couple of times here and there. I now know your room where you do your interviews.
Yeah, my little interview room.
And your jacket on the door.
Yeah. So, COVID got in the way, and then we're back. So, no, it's been good. It's been nice to, like, if anything, it's pushed us to put together a really strong set list. Yeah. And really, because I think, sort of every album that comes out, some songs inevitably lose their place and new ones go in there. But now we have 2 albums worth of songs that have to go in there. And then we were like, oh, maybe we'll just keep everything in there and just add a load of new songs. And it's been interesting to push through it. When we did it in Germany, I was a little bit sick in Germany because it was like coming out of Christmas and everyone in the UK was sort of had a flu that wasn't COVID.
Yeah.
So the first sort of 2-3 shows, I was really pushing through and was like struggling a lot with my voice. But out here, like, it's been lovely. Like, I was a bit ill before we came out, but yeah, it's been fun. It's been really great. And
I think back in again.
Yeah, and just feel really good. We did 3 shows in a row, and then we did some other stuff out here, and then we're going to do tonight. And yeah, it feels good. And 23 songs in the set.
Yeah, which is insanity. But I mean, you talk about the career that Architects have had, the vast array of albums that you've got, and the sea of songs that you've been performing all of this time. We just had Bring Me Here for Good Things Festival, and I was talking to Jordan and Lee about the fact that, you know, when you release new songs, you can't wait to see the reception that the audience has. And then unfortunately, certain old songs don't make the set list again. Do you ever get sad?
Yeah, sometimes. But I think the joy of like seeing new songs go down so well is just unparalleled. It just means so much. I think whenever we played Deep Fake and
you mean Cheesecake?
Cheesecake.
I heard Soundcheck before.
Cheesecake. We have cheesecake, cheese grate, she's late. I just like to mix it up every day.
Yeah, exactly. Chuck it in a little Easter egg.
But whenever we see that go down well, and we see When We Were Young and Tear Gas and New Moral, it's just so fun. I think especially like actually it was really special in Germany because I think that it took a lot of stress off of our shoulders.
Yeah.
Because it made you realise that the internet isn't real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know, since the album had come out, we'd taken a lot of flack from people that I don't even think necessarily have been fans of the band for a while. I think they just wanted to have pops at us. But I think when you see it in the set and you know that it's like the bigger moments of the set, I mean, especially like When We Were Young, it's crazy.
Exactly, and it's a great sing-along song that you need to experience live in order to get the full experience of what that song has.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just great. And I think actually I'm really proud of how the set sort of moves through the different eras and sort of comes back around and finishes really strongly. I just think, I don't think there's anything I'd take out or I feel like is a dull in the set. So
exactly. It's bangers all around, as they say.
Bangers and mash.
Now, let's talk about the fact that Architects are just your trajectory from the metalcore kings that you were back in the day to the metal titans you're very slowly becoming. You have a golden opportunity that, you know, a lot of teenage boys would dream and cream their pants over. You're supporting fucking Metallica throughout the UK. Like, when that phone call took place, how did Sam react?
I was just stunned. I think the main thing that I found so cool about it is, one, getting an email from Metallica's team asking us if we were interested.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's any band in the world that would say, no, we're not interested.
Yeah, exactly.
So we were like, obviously really stoked and flattered. But what I found really nice was the fact that the follow-up email was like, what is this going to take for it to work? Because they're not like, they're not like, it's not like a normal tour. It's like a show, 2 weeks off, a show, 2 weeks off.
Right, okay,
you know, spaced out over a few years because it's during festival seasons and shows that they're doing. So we gave them a figure of what we would need to sort of get to the shows, get our crew there for one show essentially.
Yep.
And they replied with, cool, no worries.
Get done, lock
no
in kind
like,
of thing.
No bartering, no trying to get us lower, which they could do. They could have, given us fuck all and we would have done it.
Yeah,
but the
exactly.
fact that they were we want you to be able to put on a show, we want you to be able to pay your crew properly, we want you to be comfortable was just lovely.
It's a beautiful thing to see, a band that have been around for that long and are at that level still paying it forward to the next upcoming bands. I mean,
it's amazing that they don't have to do that, and they did, and it just gets you really excited for the tour. It makes you feel very welcome before you've even stepped foot in the door. And I've got friends that are very good friends with them and have nothing but nice things to say about them.
Yeah,
so
I mean, like, we can even date back to the Soundwave days when they played Soundwave 2013, arguably the biggest festival that's ever hit Australia. They put on the barbecue in the state for all the bands.
Yeah, it's so nice.
So it goes to show that regardless of how big a band gets, you can still support the upcomers. You can still support the next generation.
I don't know that point where you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
and it's really nice. I couldn't imagine us ever being like that, and I think it's really nice to see like the biggest metal band in the world being like that.
Yeah. We're talking about things that you've always wanted to do. I know how much of a Paul McCartney fan you are. We've spoken about this multiple times. You got to play Festival Hall.
Yes.
The same venue that the Beatles played way back in the day.
Yes, and what's actually exciting, I haven't told anyone this actually. I met Paul McCartney recently.
You did?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and it was just brilliant. It was just an amazing moment, and really cool situation, and just not like.
Did he understand Architects? Did he know? Had he heard?
I was there with my friends in Royal Blood, and we were at an Abbey Road film premiere. Mary, his daughter, had put together a film about Abbey Road, the studios.
Yeah,
and we were there, and we turned up. We didn't really know what to expect, but us three got the invite, and Paul McCartney was there, Ringo Starr was there, Elton John was there. like the guys from the Hollies were there, like some of Pink Floyd were there, and then there's just Architects and Royal Blood. And on his way out, he like came over to the area where we were and introduced himself and said that he was like, "We're good fucking bands, we are, aren't we?
Yeah,
we're fucking good." And I was like, and I just went, "Some of us are better than others, mate." And he shook his hand and introduced us, and it was it was amazing. But
did you have the shakes afterwards?
I didn't really sleep very well because it was just such a like. I never expected that to happen.
Yeah,
and it was such a cool circumstance of like, I'm not going to ask you for a picture. It wasn't that vibe. It was it was just like, wow. And it felt so surreal, like actually being there and watching this film. It was so amazing being in Abbey Road, watching a film about Abbey Road and all the bands that have been there with the surviving members of my favourite band.
Yeah.
And then
having recorded there as well too.
Yeah,
you know?
and Elton John being sat behind Paul McCartney and them interacting throughout the film. And it was amazing. Yeah, even turning up at Abbey Road, and I was speaking to Mary McCartney and Stella McCartney when we got there, and I was like, "Oh, thanks so much for having me." And she was like, "Oh, welcome back." She was like, "You never leave here, do you?" And
exactly.
I was like, it was just surreal. So anywhere we are, I like to do like a little bit of history. I think Festival Hall, and I think even the Horden, I think they played as well. And
way back when. Yeah. I mean, like back in the day, they had like the screaming tweens, and nowadays we get like a cross pollination of fans to come see Architects.
I saw it as well, and I noticed this last time we were here when they first came over in '63. Ringo wasn't there.
Yep.
And they had a fill-in drummer, which is obviously what we have on
the same on this tour.
Well.
With Dan back home.
Yeah, it was super interesting. I was messaging Dan being like, not the only British band to come in without a drummer.
History's repeating itself.
Yeah. We don't quite have the millions of people waiting for us at the airport.
Oh, bullshit,
that they do,
bullshit.
But it's fun.
What time are you flying out tomorrow? We'll bring a crowd.
I prefer it to be easier at the airport, so I'm always grumpy there. So
yeah, understandable. I mean, you have to fly so long to get down here. We saw the video of you on your socials, and you're just dead on stage.
It was so funny because we did. It was 45 hours of travelling. It wasn't supposed to be 45 hours. They cancelled our flight at the gate, Qantas. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Thanks, Qantas. And then our day off that we had to sort of acclimatise was gone in that time.
Yeah, by that time.
So we arrived the day of rehearsal, which was the day before the first show.
Yeah.
And didn't even go to the hotel, just went straight to the rehearsal place.
Hence
and it was
why
like,
you looked like a zombie. Yeah.
I was just gone. It got to Animals, and I was like, do you know what? I don't need to rehearse this song. I really don't. I've sang this song enough.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. We know what to expect. You're going to always put in a fantastic effort, regardless of the fact that you've been flying for 50
It's one
hours.
of those things as well. I think in a rehearsal, there's only so much I can do. I think 90% of me enjoying myself is adrenaline from the crowd. So
well, get out there, play these songs, swap it around, play more songs, do more shows.
Yeah, that's the joy with it as well. I think with where we're at now, I think what we're going to enjoy more is sort of mixing it up per tour as well.
Yep.
I think.
Would you do like a heavy kind of tour kind of thing, or a throwback tour like that?
I don't think we would ever do like an anniversary type thing. I think we've had offers and options to do it, but I don't really like looking back that much.
Yep.
I enjoy sort of looking forward. I think what I would like to do more is like bring some more of those songs back into the set.
Yeah, gotcha.
Doing like Broken Cross and bringing in these colours on the last tour was super fun. But I think even before that, the tour before that, we pulled in like Black Blood out of nowhere and Alpha Omega and like I really like kind of having like a few songs a set that make people go like, oh shit, like,
and realise how fucking old we are.
Yeah, and it's also like it's not like we don't like those songs. It's like they just exist, and there's always going to be room in the set for those moments, and who knows? Maybe there'll be room in our new music for that going forward. And I wouldn't write anything off with Architects.
Just let you guys have fun.
I think
you would spread your wings and see where it takes you, kind of thing. And then when you need to drop a blat and a massive breakdown, it's always going to be there in the back of your mind.
Yeah, I think also there's ways of doing things and not just feeling like you're like just cheating.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to just go and do stuff that I did when I was 20, 21.
Bring back the long hair again.
We've already done it. We've already done those songs and that vibe. But again, that's not to say that we won't ever try and do those things in new and exciting ways. It's just, we can't just go and do Naysayer again because Naysayer already exists.
Exactly, and you can't fix perfection.
Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, but who knows? Who knows in the future? Maybe we could do it. Maybe we could do an anniversary thing. But I think at the moment we've got so much music and so many songs that we want to just play to everyone.
Well, look, all we need to do is look ahead to the future. Continue doing what you're doing, because those who matter. Those who don't matter are just the voiceless people on the internet trying to get a fight for whatever reason, and they don't deserve the attention.
They don't get the reaction anymore as well. I'm not going to reply to you. I'm just going to block you.
Yep, perfect, done.
And I don't care if you've got an architect's tattoo, because I've blocked a lot of people with architect's tattoos. You're still getting blocked because you can't be a prick to me.
Block away, get yourself offline, go to a show. Sam Carter from Architects, absolute pleasure. Thank you.
An absolute joy to see you. I'm so happy to be here.
Hey, my name's Simon.
I'm Goose.
And I'm Daniel from Alt, and you're watching Wall of Sound TV.
Welcome our very first in-studio guest. It's Alt!
Thank you.
One day we'll get a crowd. One day.
Yeah, or just get some crowd noise in the background like they're doing on the soaps or whatever.
Yeah, but they cost money, and we haven't got money in this budget for Wall of Sound TV. But enough about that. Let's talk about you guys. Welcome back to Brisbane. There's been so much happening with the world of Alt. Where can we start? Where should we start?
I don't know. Where do you want to start?
Let's just introduce you first, because I'm sure some people don't know.
Well, I'm Daniel, vocalist.
Daniel also, but go by Goose, and I'm the guitarist.
I'm Simon, and I play guitar as well.
Great start. You do have an album coming out this year. It's called Abeyance. What does that mean?
It means just being sort of suspended in a state of sort of like ownership, like you're not kind of tied to anything. So I guess the metaphors I used was not feeling tied to earth, but then also feeling like you don't want to die either.
Well, that'd be great.
So being
don't do that.
suspended in this thing of like, don't really want to be here, but don't want to be there.
So it's kind of like purgatory in a way.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, that's sort of what this album encapsulates as a whole, I guess. Yeah.
Sounds very cathartic, to be honest.
A bit.
Just get it out there.
It's definitely was more of a angrier experience more than a depressing one, like last time, even though The Great Depression was our second single.
Well, you take a look at what you guys are doing for the post-hardcore scene in Australia, and it's incredible to see where you've come from to where you are now, scoring these amazing slots. You're obviously in Brisbane supporting Seo's in, growing up in the scene back in the day. These were the bands you used to look up to, and now you're sharing a stage. What's that like?
Oh, it's been awesome. Like, especially for a band that, we've all kind of seen as we were kind of finding out about this kind of music, I guess. So to see them live the last 3 nights or 2 nights, it's been, something special.
It's pretty inspiring to see, because I know Bo just sort of started the band as like a bit of a project thing, and it sort of took off, and it's sort of kind of what we did as well. Like, it started as just a few of us, and then now it's grown
and it's turning into Alt, the alternative of whatever the last project was.
Yeah, true. And then we're from Adelaide, so yeah.
right here.
Not many people expect too much from us.
No, there's lots of great things that come out of Adelaide, Ebony included. But one of the great things that happened with Alt is you signed to Resist Records. You're following in the footsteps of Parkway Drive, Polaris, Bare Bones. What was it about them that attracted you to go, we want to be with you?
Just their eagerness and their like excitement about us. So Graham was just very keen on us from the get-go, and pretty much just started trying to work for us like straight away, doing whatever he could to help us in any capacity before we decided on anything really. And I think he believes in us more than probably most people do. So just to have someone like that ready to push you in any sort of like capacity is really what you want. You want them to be interested in you, and also to be seemed as like a priority to them, I guess, especially when you're starting out, for sure.
Yeah, they were nice enough to let us hang at the shop for like 5 hours yesterday.
Yeah.
We didn't plan our trip very well, and we got nowhere to go, so.
So it's good, you can just roll up a bed anytime you want in the back of Resist Records, go through some records kind of thing.
Yeah, just drop off like 30 boxes of stuff and just leave it there for a bit.
Great. Graham, if you can sort that for us, we'll come back at some point
Resist Records, shop and storage.
He's done it once, so we know he can do it again.
Amazing. Well, I think you guys have a big year so far. New album, Anything else planned?
Yeah, we just got a few shows coming up. So we're doing the tour with Don Broco coming in May, which should be really good.
Band.
Yeah, one of my faves, should be good. Then we are doing the Unify Off the Record in Adelaide, which should be really good, as well as heading overseas for the first time with Thornhill in New Zealand.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
which should be really good.
New Zealand's a good sort of first step because I think getting your first overseas tour as an Australian band is really, really difficult. And just, even though it's really close and everything, but just to go over there and say, look, we've done overseas, we are willing to sort of put in that level of commitment, and stuff might look good to anyone else in other countries that might take an interest in bringing you over or something. So
Well, let's take a look at the end of the year. I mean, you're going to have 2 albums worth of material under your belt. It's a whole bunch of fans who are going to come and catch you this year. The opportunities are endless for Alt.
Yeah, hopefully that's what we want. So we're hoping we can get as many fans as we can on these tours. Get to play our music. Hopefully people like it and want to hear more of it and want to see us be able to play, well, I guess as many songs as we can. So we'd love to play the new album in full once it's out.
Cool.
Well, what we're going to do is obviously get you guys in front of as many eyes as physically possible. So what we want to do now is essentially open up a bit of a fun game to get to know Alt deep and personally. You guys up for this?
Sure.
Let's get it.
Whose fault in Alt? So
Here we go.
name names. Blame some people.
James.
Oscar.
James.
So, when you're late, whose fault is it?
Simon.
Damn it,
Easy
Simon.
as. We've nearly missed flights because of Simon.
What are you
Just
doing?
tardiness, or what are you doing?
I don't really sleep very well. So I'm always running off 3 hours and then it's a last minute scramble to get an Uber to an airport or something like that.
But he also refuses to go to bed before 3 a.m. too, so there's that.
I worked overnights for 5 years and it just ruined me. So.
Yeah, you don't get used to it, do you?
Nah, no way. So, yeah, that's my fault.
Yeah.
All right, after you have a big night, whose fault in Alt is it?
Oscar.
Or
Goose?
Oscar or Goose.
Oscar, but then Goose influenced by Oscar.
Who's Oscar?
He's our bass player.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's one of our new members. So he joined in the last couple of months on with us. He'd been playing with us for close to a year, but he's now joined as a member with us now. But yeah, he's a loose unit sometimes. In Melbourne, he was already drunk before we started playing, but he somehow got it together and played probably the best set he's ever played in Melbourne. So good.
Liquid
props to him.
confidence.
You guys
Works for
just
some,
told-
not many.
You just told me you didn't party and you're lying.
It's just Oscar. We don't party. Oscar parties. And then Goose then goes out with him and then comes back and they're throwing spoons at each other. So it's a good time.
Oh my God.
Bands, are we right? When you stuff up on stage, whose fault in Alt is it?
Let's go, James.
Maybe James.
It'd be James.
Is it easy to target him because he's not here?
No, it's just drums is like the one thing that probably gets stuffed up the most. Because if anyone else stuffs up, it's not really noticeable. But when something happens, it kind of throws everything off. So, and he is also our newest member. So, James.
Hang shit on him somehow.
All right, the last one. When your coffee order is incorrect, that can be really dangerous. Dairy, some people, whose fault is it?
Oh, none of us really drink coffee. Yeah. But I guess
Really?
if someone's
Neither do I, actually, so.
organising something, mixes it up. I think Oscar.
Yeah, just throw Oscar.
We'll just write Oscar.
Throw him under the bus. He's not here. He can't defend himself.
Yeah, we'll just go Oscar. Just because he's the only one who's sort of, he's taken over from me from having to sort of like book everything for tours and stuff like that. So, so if anything goes awry now, I'm like, where were you on that one, Oscar?
All right, we've got a big insight to the wonderful world of Alt. We can't wait to see what you guys do next. It sounds like a massive year in 2023. Thanks for stopping by and being the first band in studio for Wall of Sound TV.
Thank you for having us. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Some exciting things are happening to Brisbane's heavy music scene with the announcement of a brand new live music venue opening. Denis is here to chat to us all about it. Mate, what can you tell us about Bad Luck Bar?
Bad luck. So we're currently at King Lear's Throne in Fortitude Valley, right next door.
Just there?
Right next, just right there. We've got Bad Luck. It's a 300 cap venue. I'm going to be doing the same thing I've always done. Heavy metal, punk rock, anything good.
So if it's good to come along and thrash about and maybe do some stage dives, this is where it's going to be.
I'll be catching you when you stage dive, so I'll be that guy.
Now, the big thing is you've obviously got the big announcement of King Parrot coming to break everything in. What can you tell us about the future?
We got some good things. We got King Parrot, obviously. We've got Exhumed from the States playing. That's going to be a big one. Lagerstein on opening night. That's going to be huge. Money Boys are doing the soft opening. Another big one. I've got a lot of emails.
Because, you had an influx of people wanting to play, and bands can actually hit you up and try and plan something for the future, right?
Yes, definitely. Email me, Denis, badluckbookings@gmail.com. I'll get through all those emails. It's
it's a one-man job at the moment.
Yes, but there's some good ones coming through. There's Halloween weekend. It's going to be good.
Ooh. So maybe plan ahead for that accordingly. That's going to be spooky. Plenty of things happening with Brisbane's heavy music scene. Denis, it's great to see you back in action again, and we can't wait to get all involved with Bad Luck Bar.
Thank you. Yeah, come to the show.
Doors are already open, so make sure you grab your tickets to King Parrot. It's going to go off. And follow Wall of Sound on socials. I'm Ebony.
I'm Brownie.
And this is Wall of Sound TV.